Lu, he was still in apprenticeship that time. He came to CF and preached. So that time, it was still my first semester, so I didn't know much. But what happened was during the sermon, someone actually texted me during the sermon and say this exact, not quite exact, but I remember vaguely about something along this line of like, pay attention, but don't listen. Yeah, so I got a little bit cautious since then. I read from my Form 4 history book about Reformations, about like Protestantism, Roman Catholic, so I was very curious, so I'll go and learn. And I realized that I actually didn't know anything about church history, how much they have done, how much they have contributed to churches today, Christianity today. Not knowing history actually makes me not knowing what has happened, what are the mistakes that has happened back then, before. And I'm actually, that time I realized that actually I'm at risk of repeating the mistakes back then. That also got me to evaluate what CRC has been doing. And I realized that CRC actually has been trying to reform, bringing back the gospel to churches today. And a lot of things that's being taught is actually aligned with what the reformers have been fighting for, what Protestants has been protesting. So that got me to actually change my perception towards CRC and also to be more open to it. The most important thing that I've learned from CRC is actually speaking the truth. And speaking the truth is actually the most loving thing a person can do. Yeah. Contrary to how people normally think about what love is, which is let's not fight lah, and let's not disagree over everything. We just like unite together lah, come ching together. God has actually revealed Himself in according to how He reveals Himself, and not according to how we define Him. And we know that also right worship should come from right understanding of who He is. To get God right is actually the most loving thing a person can do, to teach people who this true God is. Actually, I think all of us, including me, we are actually very fearful of offending people actually by nature, because we're all Asians, we're all Malaysians, we also want to like unite, love all. But one thing that the gospel really changes us, we wouldn't want to, because of this, don't have any disagreements and therefore don't want to fight. The gospel actually does change us from there to actually wanting to speak the truth, even though it hurts people. Yeah, because we know that preaching the gospel is very important. People's understanding of the gospel is very important. The health of churches around is very important. Yeah, so that we all can actually worship God rightly, preach the gospel faithfully, and actually make sure that non-Christians hear the gospel which will save them.